Hello everybody, Nuke here, and we are back finally on the Contingency server. Oh boy, and this will actually be my second take at recording this video, since the first one did not come out how I liked, and unfortunately it also means that it's been quite delayed until I've been able to record this, simply because I haven't really had the best internet lately. It's been really bad, and I'm trying to get a lot better with trying to get a lot better, trying to get a better internet connection at least. And at the moment nothing's changed. We have an engineer that's going to come out on Tuesday. The recording day of this is Saturday, when I have the time and I'm not actually working and such. So let me just explain what I want to do for this episode. So I plan on sort of just showing off everything around the server. You know, some things may have changed since I've last shown them, and a lot of things haven't exactly changed that much. But if you're a new viewer, then I want you to be able to see that everything here is like really cool in this world, and because a lot of stuff I show it once and I don't really show it again. So I'm going to start with this one thing that I seem to have forgotten in the distance, and we're just gonna start here at my base. We'll walk around a little bit and I'll explain some things as we go. So over here, man, this, well, I'll try and explain this as best I can. Originally, but when we were starting a new map, when we went from Vibecraft to Contingency, there was talks about having paths everywhere, which would have been really cool. And I really like this idea. So, as part of that, I started building a path quite, man, it was months ago by now, but you know, more recently I haven't done anything with it. But this is a bridge that was just to sort of span the hillside here to the other hillside over there. I never actually finished this thing because this is not how I'd want the final thing to look. It looks like a good portion of this is completed, but I honestly myself forgot I had this thing, and I find that quite funny. Like, you'll see this half has like this nice little pattern going on here, but on the far side you can sort of just see the glowstone underneath where the pistons are. They provide all the little bits of lighting along this whole bridge, so it's all illuminated and not dark. And I really like it because technically light can't travel through this gap, but because it's, you know, all hidden lighting, it just looks like, oh yeah, it's just naturally illuminated, which is a really nice look, I think. Moving on, this pathway was also one of the few things that I initially did. Oh, I think I saw a block missing, but whatever. It was one of the initial things that I did before I started building my sort of town, because you wouldn't just build a town out of nowhere, if you know what I mean. Like, if this bridge was supposed to go all the way to my old base, and it now connects to spawn, which it sort of does. I never finished the far end of this path nearer to spawn, but we'll work on that, or we'll tell you about that later. But I felt like this seems like a nice place for a sort of village along the path that I was going to do. Oops. And I thought it'd just be really nice to start putting loads of little buildings together. So that's what I did eventually. I came around and I started building this one building, then this one, then that one, then that one, then it was trying to get around to show you, and it was that one, then I did I think the one at the far, oh god damn it, I threw two. This one, then this one, and then this one. So, you know, you're sort of getting the idea of a pattern going on here. I just built one house at a time every so often, and eventually I got like a little small town thing going, which I really like the look of. You know, at the start I wasn't 100% sure with the style that I was going with, but when you're starting a style, you can't really tell how it's going to really look until you have a lot of them. And in the end, I'm really happy with the result. I mean, the houses, they're not really super detailed, I'll admit that. But they have enough detail to where you're like, oh yeah, that's a cool, it's just like a little house, little house, little house, you know. They all are just individually nice, you know, not great. Like this wall here, this has a lot of detail, and this looks really nice. And in comparison to them houses, you can tell this is a lot more detailed. They require a lot more work, but I just wanted to be able to put up a house really quickly, you know? And we also have the little gatehouse here, and the wall. This wall thing I've worked on for quite a while. I can get it done actually relatively quickly, it's just I don't work on it very much. So, there's that, and here we have like a sort of river that cuts through the middle. That I'm trying to make this into a whole castle thing. I just really haven't worked on it lately. Uh, Eventually, I will have a really nice place, but that's going to take a bit of time, unfortunately. And I have a lot of things I can do. In this box here is my witch hut, which is sort of under reconstruction to sort of look good. The actual thing inside does function, as I guess you heard a piston fire. Let's see if I can't quite do this. There we are. The frames are dropping slightly for some reason. But it's just a typical witch hut. It's 3 layers. When the map started, it was 1.7.0, I guess, or 1, or something like that. But these witch huts were originally only 2 high. And then with the 1.8, if you deleted your witch hut file and then let it generate a new one technically, it would make the 3 high witch huts, which is what we went ahead and did, and everyone on the server now has the 3 high witch huts, which I'm pretty happy with. Over there's the much bigger bridge in the distance. That's a big project that's only had one little part of it completed. Also, you may have heard a spider. That's I think it's my fault somehow with adding all this structure on the outside, but whatever. In the meantime, this is something people wouldn't have seen. I did just build a random lone tower out over there, since there was like a little island thing, and I felt like it'd be kind of cool just to have a tower just sort of up there by itself. I might put like a little dock over there or something, and then you can go up on the insides of this thing, and it would just be like sort of like a lighthouse, but more of just like a forward lookout, I suppose. I don't know why I did it, but I just did it, so I really quite like it. And what we'll do now is we will move on to somewhere else in the town really quickly, so I'll just speed this up. Okay, we're back here at the little dock area of the town real quick, and down here is where I kind of store everything that belongs to me under this particular house, which I would move, but it's just really not feasible-ish at the moment. I did attempt to make some more storage that I never have used down here, like in a more official type of way, so that it'd be a lot more cleaner and it wouldn't be like in the side of this house over here. But there's only so much I can really be bothered to do when moving certain items. Just pick up that redstone real quick. We need that for a project that I will show you later in the video. So yeah, other than that, this is basically what I know as my main base. And here's behind the tree is a Stargate type nether portal, which is something I based off of my old base as well, which I'll give you a quick show around soon. It's just sort of like a circle that's meant to sort of act like a Stargate. I'll show you a more functional one, like I said, later. But I really like it. It's kind of cool. And like I mentioned earlier, this is the bridge. This goes on for a extremely long distance. I think I might have to try and show you a link to when I did run across the whole thing, which was also sped up, because I'm not going to do it again. I just take the nether portal because I have one on the other side of it instead. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll go in and I think we'll visit my old base first. So I will see you over there. Okay, we are now approaching my old base. This is my very first base on the server. And through here, we are going to initially end up in the original Stargate portal that I'd done. Yep, this was supposed to be like the underground complex, just like in Stargate SG-1. However, I never actually got the thing to a standard which I was happy with before I kind of left this base. But nonetheless, it's alright and it works. If we go up here, this Stargate is actually is a fully functional one, which is something that the other one is not. For instance, this lever here will turn the Stargate off, and what it will do is what my plans was below here there is another portal. Well, was another portal. I think it's turned off at the moment. But my plan was you would throw an item through the nether portal initially, because this one Stargate would shut down. What it would do is it would activate a timer, which would then do the startup sequence for this Stargate. So you'd wait a few seconds on the side of the nether portal, and then suddenly this one would turn on and you'd be able to walk through, and you would end up actually out of this Stargate. The point was that to access the main portal you would have to have thrown an item through, which activated a tripwire down there, which then set off the whole sequence so you could actually enter the correct portal. If not, I had planned on having something that would kill you. Like, the tripwire would have just been one part of it, but I would have had a whole little sequence that would have needed a piece of paper with like a code on it, and it would recognize, oh, this is the right piece of paper with the right writing on it or something, and then you would have been able to go through the portal safe. If you didn't have the right thing, then you would have gone through the portal and you would have died. That was my plan, because I wanted a very, very sort of secure base as such, which in the end this worked out sort of. But what we'll do is we'll just turn the Stargate on permanently. In case you're wondering what the button does, it activates it for a short period of time, about a minute. So what we'll do is we'll go on back down and we will explore the rest of this base, quote unquote. There wasn't really much to it, I'm afraid. The idea behind this one was a missile silo, and that's kind of also why I did a Stargate, because it was all a type of underground complex in an extreme hill biome, so it was coming along really nicely. You know, I was getting everything done that I wanted to get done, and these like layers and such and floors were really cool. You know, figuring out like this little supporting structure type look, and I don't know, I just really liked everything about it. But yeah, so what we'll do is we'll go down here. You may notice some things are changing around. This was my original storage room, a lot more organised than my current one. and it's still full of a lot of things that could be potentially useful. Considering I haven't used a lot of this stuff since 1.7, a lot of it is very, that's very good actually. I might change that out. Yeah, not too many of them laying around. And then I just had like a load of books that I did loads of random enchants on and such, which is all well and good. And then over here I had like specific enchants and such. I think I had a lot of efficiency 4 books at one point, but they're all gone. But yeah, it was just like a sort of circular-ish design, and I had lots of plans for this place, but I never really followed through, which is I'm kind of sad about. Like through here was going to be a furnace room, and I was going to have all this everything's like sorted, and all the chests around here were going to be for like mostly automatic-ish storage. Obviously, these ones in the middle here you would have had a bit more of a struggle with, but they were all sort of manually stored items, I would say, anyway, because you can't really store books and such or armor that well or sort it that well in a sorter. But obviously this stuff could be sorted, but I'm still happy with how it came out in the end. So what we'll do is we'll go through here. My plans for this area, and I was going to dig quite far that way, was this was all going to be sort of like farming area, which is why it was all green. So this used to be my wheat farm, but I never really properly finished it. I built the thing and I farmed it a few times, but in the end I just wasn't happy with how the whole thing came out, I guess, because what you had to do to replant it was go through here, and then you have to like take a little diagonal drop down to try and get over here, and then if you fell down here you kind of got stuck. So it was okay, it worked, but in the end I just wasn't particularly happy with it, and there's all the seeds I've been getting from this farm when I have used it. Through here was when block transmuting was a thing. I had plenty of fun with attempting to turn one item into another. Obviously, when you completely screwed it up, you get these purple and black blocks. So these are stone bricks, that's a wooden slab. They just have the wrong IDs entirely, so they don't technically exist. But the other ones, they're all fine and such, I think that was some mossy stone brick that we'd made and such. Oh yeah, and all this digging was to find a silverfish block, because I wanted to do is I wanted to have the only circle stone silverfish, which I'll show you where it is in a minute. But what we'll quickly do is we'll just look around the rest of the base, and you'll notice something's starting to happen a little bit more and more, because since this was my very first base, I decided, it'd be cool if I made this place start to look abandoned and broken. So you can sort of see down there, lights are turned off, there's lots of overgrowth. By the way, that circle stone brick down there, that's the silverfish, but I'll take a closer look in a second. This was meant to look all caved in, because this is the upper level of the wheat farm that I mentioned. So this is all meant to look caved in and such, and as you can tell, like, it's meant to look all sort of dried up and abandoned and such. So I left some lights on, because obviously you want a little bit of light to prevent some mob spawns. Behind here was my mob farm. It wasn't particularly great. It's one of them etho type designs. I can quickly show you at some point. Probably in spectator mode. But what you'll see down here is I had a 9x9 door, and I kind of hit the button in the last time I attempted to record this, which pushed around a lot of things, and it ended up where this silverfish box, you see how quickly that breaks, ended up over here when it was supposed to still be in the middle, which kind of annoys me because I can't really fix it properly. But you'll see through here there's actually a lot of wiring, a lot more than you can physically see. Like I said, it'll be more of a spectator type thing that I'll throw in so that you can see. But yeah, this is the entrance, and yeah, it's just meant to look all overgrown because I used to have all my stuff by this tree thing. This was a forest, and this is where I did all my initial farming of cows and such, where I under here some villagers that I gathered up, dark oak tree, and just all sorts of random little farms and crap. Basically, I was just trying to get started on the server at the time, and also jungle tree. A jungle tree was actually really hard to get because not many jungles had ever been found on the server, so I didn't find one. I traded for it with a tree man who's an old member a long time ago now. Okay, hi creeper. There we go. So what I think we'll do is, well, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to stand in this corner and I'm going to go game mode 3. So now you can see everything that is behind the walls. So this is all that redstone that I was mentioning about the door. That's all broken now, which was a lot of work. This is that tunnel that I was talking about. And over here, which I haven't really shown in a video for a very long time, was the mob trap design that I'd built up. So it's like I said, pretty much an etho type design. The only difference is I had redstone in it, so I could turn the entire thing on and off. You know, each layer with lamps and such. It worked pretty well. Obviously you won't see anything in it since there's technically no characters around. But that's all that, and oh yeah, you can see some of my earlier on day branch mines and some of the mob trap stuff. Huh. Well, anyway, yeah, I guess the mob trap wasn't that great because there's 5 zombies just sitting down here. But yeah, that's just some mob trap wiring, and then you can't see it, but there's an item elevator where that goes over there, so it's all solid, and then you see it through this window here, and then it will get sorted up here, and yeah, that's how that all went. So what we'll do is we'll go back to this corner, change our game mode back, there we are, and now we are back doing things in survival. Yeah, I only go into spectator to show things. Normally I have a spectator account, but it's just a little bit too much effort in the middle of a recording to go up there and or log on to that and then switch to, yeah, log on to that, stop recording, and then start recording again. Oh, that's all glitchy. So we'll just roll with this. Okay. Up here we have my automatic armor equipper in case a fight situation ever happened. I was ready to, you know, just instantly equip and be ready for a fight. I had a plan up here where in this room I was going to have all your potions, your tools and such, and I was just going to have all that like a drop, and you could then all use everything, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like you'd have everything drop, it all quickly equip you, and you'd be ready for a fight. Speaking of which, this light here, basically, if the light is on, the Stargate's active. If the light is off, the Stargate is inactive. I pull the lever and that light will turn off in a second. There we go. That basically is a kill switch to a Stargate, or the Stargate. When I did get attacked once and the person escaped through the Stargate. So after that I implemented an on-off kill switch in order to prevent escapees, but this will turn on in a second. It just has to go through the startup sequence. There we go. And yeah, this was my quick route down to the Stargate. I planned on having like a lot of little traps around this place and all sorts of things, but unfortunately I've moved on from this base, so the only thing that I'll be doing to it is making it look more abandoned as time passes. So what we'll do is we'll go back through and we will visit some of our newer projects. So I think for simplicity's sake what we'll do is we will look outside the window, well, window quote unquote, of where my old base was, and we'll look at that. I'm pretty sure this gives you an idea of what is potentially going on, but we'll take a little look from the top. Now, a lot of the more recent viewers will know what this is, and this is our nether perimeter, as the sign indicates to here. Not my base, but this is a huge project that is underway. The only reason a lot of this digging hasn't started yet is because I want to get all the sea lanterns in the ceiling like this. They are technically all in place, but there's a lot of air gaps above the southern portions, so I'm fixing that first, and then once I'm happy with it, then all the digging will begin. But these two northern halves are like air gap free, but yeah, other than that it's going okay. So you can sort of tell it's also a very huge area. But over here, when I eventually get over there, because it's such a huge distance to run, is there's some zombies that have just spawned because of pigment. What we'll do is go take the fast route down. Over here is where all the storage and such is, and these lines go literally all the way down to the other end of the perimeter. I'm not even kidding. And same for this, but this is all lava, and this one's meant to be all netherrack, though this side's mostly empty because we're filling it up from the far end first. And then, actually I left, this is where I'm just going to put the redstone box, and I'll take some more ender pearls. Pretty sure that one chest gave you a hint on what we're sort of doing. But up here, this was all lava. What I wanted for this particular place is I wanted lava to be behind glass, because I want it to be known that there was lava here at some point, and you can kind of get the idea of where all the lava was, and now it's just like not there anymore as such. And over here is one of our more preferred methods, at least my preferred method, of removing said lava. What we do is we just do this basically. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, you make a Moses, you push it all the way. Normally there wasn't all these cobble things here before, but some members decided that was a good idea. For that I still don't understand why, but whatever. But you can sort of see that there's loads of lava here that's being removed all at once, and it's just a lot of work basically down here, because these are the other Moseses that we've been using. Oh, thank God. I thought I was going to end up in lava for a second there. But yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not really explaining this very well, because it's just a huge bunch of lava removal basically, which is boring. Oh God, no, I hit a pigment. Oh shit. Oh God damn it. But yeah, this all used to be lava, like you can tell by that height indicator there, and now it's all cleaned up and gases have fired at us a crap ton. Now I've pissed off all the pigments, so I'd like to get out of here as quickly as fucking possible. Oh dear God. That was something I could not predict. Quick run through, lots of potions and stuff through that portal where we make them, but I'm just going to take the minecart elevator up. Okay. I hope the ones up here aren't mad. Please don't be mad. Also, you can't quite tell. Okay, they're not mad because they're not within range. Up here, there's beacon effects because we have a lot of beacons on the ceiling. It's purely because you need the beacon effects more on the ceiling side up until a certain point, because if you fall and die, or if you fall, you're a lot less likely to die with things like resistance 4 or jump boost whenever we switch back to that. The strength 2 also helps deal with pigmen, because you kill one, the rest don't get angry, which is a very useful feature. So the other thing I'm just going to quickly explain is this. By the way, that's a big hole that someone decided to dig. That's the bottom of the perimeter down there. Is a little wither killing area that I made. Basically, you put the wither skulls like that. So there's no wither skulls here at the moment, because this is going to be a wither skull farm, the whole nether perimeter. But you put the wither like that, and then you obviously put the skulls on. It gets trapped and explodes and doesn't do any damage. You can also do it on the layer below, so you can do that as well, and that works perfectly fine, because you can spawn withers sideways now since 1.8, which is kind of cool, because it lets designs like this exist. If not, there's still plenty of room for piston pushing. But how this was done was, in 1.7. I think 10 or 1.8.2 or something, because we're in 1.8.3. There was a bedrock breaking glitch that involved beds, and for this particular one, what we did is we just I found a piece of bedrock on just another map at these coordinates, right? And it basically had a single piece of netherrack in the center, and it was surrounded by bedrock. And what I did was I punched a hole initially down with a dark oak tree, and then what I did was I broke out all the bedrock around this place using the bed and such, and then I just made this into this, I guess, which is like ideal for killing withers in, really close to the perimeter, because it's the other wall, and then this is where you can kill all the withers at. So not bad, it's pretty good. So I think next we'll move on to the largest project that we've done on the server by far, and hopefully something we can be remembered for. And it's just down the end of this. You can see the portal in the distance, so it's really close in relation to the nether perimeter. And for those that do know what it is the original perimeter that we did. It is the big dig, and here's all the storage for the big dig. Yep, everything was transported through the nether and stored, or no, through the portal and stored in the nether. And we'll go through here, and you may notice initially all the flat bedrock under this ice, and our Y coordinate is 2, and now it is 1. And you can also see the mob trap that we've built in this place. This is why this is the biggest project that we've ever done. Simply because the amount of work it took to dig out this 323 by 323 perimeter, and then in 1.7.10, which is when this was all dug, there was a stair and a wither skull breaking or bedrock breaking bug that we used, and we used it to completely flatten this entire area with, you know, just stairs and wither skulls. And it took a hell of a lot of work, because it takes about the same amount of time as digging this whole perimeter to breaking all the bedrock within it. So it takes literally the amount that you entirely dig is also doubled when you have to break the bedrock. So that was fun, and it was just something I kind of did on a whim because it was a bug at the time, or a known bug at the time that we could use, and I was like, you know, it'd be cool if we just flattened all the bedrock. And oh, apparently that's a thing. Let's see if I can get back on. Well, I will be right back then, I guess. Okay, so apparently the server crashed, but we are getting back on it right now. Oh, apparently I guess it didn't load me going into the overworld. Okay. But yeah, it was just a bug at the time that we started to use and abuse, and then what we did was we just flattened the whole perimeter with it, which was a lot of work, like I've said. But yeah, then what we did is we built up a, I guess, standard mob trap type design that was made by JL a long time ago. I modified it a little bit to support how 1.8 does mobs, where it's the number of air blocks or transparent blocks instead of the number of air blocks in total. So basically, these half slabs all count as transparent blocks and would allow for an increased spawn rate. The only inhibiting block here is these iron blocks. Other than that, this entire setup is extremely efficient, and what we had started working on is the sorting system in the middle for it all. So what I think we'll do is we'll turn off one cell so you can get an idea of the rates that this thing produces. There's also plans to hook the whole thing up to like a single central switch or something, but what you'll see is all the lava is coming down, and eventually the whole farm will turn off, or turn on more correctly put. You can already start to see some creepers and such falling. Like, just that many mobs already is kind of insane. So what we'll do is we'll move down to this bit here, and oh, yep, you can already start to see the items coming up a little bit. There we are. And then here we go. So you get to see, you get an idea. This hasn't quite updated entirely because of just how lighting works, but you just see the amount of mobs that are falling, and they're all dying instantaneously. And this is just on one cell with just me on, and it's all glitched with the lighting, and I'm trying to get it to update. But yeah, and it's producing just like this, and this is just one of these cells. Like, if I were to turn on all the others, and you can also see ender pearls coming up, then it would be a whole nother story almost. And oh, I think I know what's happening to the drops. Basically, yeah, these hoppers are picking them up. I emptied these, this is why I didn't turn the farm back on. Eventually these will be sorters, so they'll all sort the particular type of drop that we want, but currently they're just filling up all the item drops. So you can sort of get an idea of how quickly this thing is filling up based on the number of hoppers, since they were all empty when I started this thing, and they're all beginning to sort of fill up with all the different drops. And I picked up some gunpowder by accident. There we go. Pop that back in the stream. So yeah, a lot of work. Oh wait, these things are emptying into the chests. I didn't think of that. I should probably turn that farm off. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Ow. Oh, nice. So yeah, that's gonna be a slight pain in the ass now. God damn it, I didn't mean to do that. Well, only a few chests will be affected anyway. But yeah, this is all the start of our sorting system. So yeah, it's coming along, you know, which is pretty nice. But like I mentioned, it was a huge amount of work, and the storage system is just one little extra step that we have to do before this thing is like literally entirely complete, which will be really cool, because I mean, you don't get farms like this amazing on too many servers. Also, this entire place was built in an ice biome, which is why there's all the ice on the floor. Works as a good ice tray. So, I think that's all I can really conclude about this place. I mean, there's been plenty of videos made on here, and all sorts. So, I think I'll move on to the next area. So, I will see you there. Okay, so as you saw in the really sped up footage, we just went past my portal and we're going up the diagonal path, and we are going to arrive at the Guardian farm. This is also something that is quite work in progress, and also this setup here is just temporary. There's no plans in keeping this. You know, it's just so that you're able to sort of speed craft sea lands and such, and or any other block. Oh god damn. Okay, well I didn't really mean to fall down here, but I guess since you can now look anyway, this is the Guardian farm. I guess you can sort of see it working. There we go, and that minecart's now going to push off. This is all the on-off mechanism. These are all dispensers set up in like a configuration most ideal for the farm, and all this light you see on top actually isn't visible from below. And in case you're wondering what all this is, this was my first attempt, except for this little section that you see is that stone. But everything else that you see is like, that's the gravel. It was my first attempt at kind of making this into a sort of island, but it came out too square, so I didn't quite like it. So what I did is I redid it later on the outside, and the only sort of bit that I kept was kind of the stone bit that you can see. Other than that, it's all sort of redone, and I made it look like an island, or a lot more like an island. So down here, and now you'll see the Guardians actually start to spawn a bit better. Not, the lighting's not great, but you can sort of see what is going on. So yeah, just Guardian farm. You have all the minecarts underneath picking it up. Oh yeah, and of course over here, this is what we did in 1.7.10 as well, is we broke out a section of bedrock where we knew the Guardian farm was going to be underneath it. So we did that purely because we wanted to be able to build this farm with ease, the collection system part of it, because they have to fall this far before they instantaneously die. I forgot the exact distance that this is, but you can pretty much tell if that's like the highest piece of bedrock right there, and we're on Y5, which is also the highest piece of bedrock. Just we go up 2 blocks further the stairs. There isn't much room to really fit in a proper collection system. You know, you will have to break bedrock in order to get an ideal collection system that doesn't involve like lava or something. So that's how you get a sort of much more ideal setup for a Guardian farm. You know, you gotta break a bit of bedrock, but in the end it all works. And yeah, this is just your quick little system here that when a minecart comes up, it unloads and then it just goes back off again. That's all that these little bits are, and it's all what this chunk of area does. You know, all unloads the minecarts, and then item elevator just sends all the drops straight up for now. Plans are to have everything incorporated within this area, but for now, just sending the items up to the roof is a lot simpler. Because then, if people just need something really quick, they can just easily get up there and such. Oh yeah, that's also part of the bridge that you can see right there. So this is the outside of the island. This was entirely handmade by me, and only me. I had no help on any of this whatsoever, which was a pain, but I guess no one felt they had the ability to do something like this, or at least the desire to. But yeah, it looks alright. I mean, I guess I would call this sort of natural looking as far as an island goes. I mean, you'd see it, you'd be like, oh, okay, it's an island. You would think that the whole thing had to be handmade, because it's all used to just be ocean floor before. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I think it's pretty good. Took a lot of work. Obviously, the top bit is too flat, but there's only so much you can actually do. Oh yeah, and like I said, this is the bridge. What you see here, I have all the wooden posts part of it completed, which are all these and all of the pillars. However, the actual stone brick and all the little arch bits, they're not completed. This bridge is far too big to have all that done, but at least it has some sort of support all the way through, even if it's just wooden supports. So up here we have also a quick little sort of thing. It works very similarly to the one that you saw in the mob farm, except this one's sort of more or less working. So yeah, you can see what items they're particularly sorting, and all the fish is kind of just getting left to despawn. So that's not too bad, I think. But yeah, that's all I can really show off at the Guardian farm for now. Not really that much done to it. I mean, it's an impressive thing with what that was done to it, but there's not much else we can do for now until we actually make it look good properly. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll keep walking down this bridge, and as you can see, we have a massive portal farm. Well, I say portal farm, it's a load of portals. It's just a gold farm. And also down here is my creeper pad that I just did my own little design on. It's just basically a bunch of creepers where the lights are indicating that there's a creeper, all in the hope for a lightning strike to hit one. It's only like here though, because this gold farm here is designed to be AFK'd at, and the entire thing's on-offable. And I had plans on putting a fish farm into this thing, which I never have done yet. Eventually one day I will. But you just sort of stand in the middle AFK. The only reason you have this little guard here is in case of lightning striking you or something and you die. But whatever, I mean, this beacons. But yeah, this was a lot of work and a lot of obsidian. Which, the obsidian, if you don't know, I can show you how I got that later in the video as well. Oh, hi Endermite. So yeah, this is all the top of the farm. It looks really cool. I did a lot of work on this. It was a huge amount of work building this thing in the end, and also designing it, because this is also my own design. But yeah, it works okay. It's not the most efficient gold farm out there, but it works, like I said. So I like it. Down here you can see it's all lit up so mobs don't spawn on the tops of the just regular portals before you turn the whole thing on. Oh, did I miss that? I missed that. Oh, oh no, oh no, okay. Yeah, don't do that. That's not a good idea to do. But what we'll do is we'll go up here and we'll turn the whole thing on. So you might be able to tell with the lag that they sort of turn on one tick after another each and every portal, so it's not all at the same time. They might die into it. And we'll just leave it on for a second and we'll turn it off again now. So it all turns off one by one by one by one. There we go. Perfect. And you can see it's spawned a whole bunch of pigmen, and when they try and walk around, they'll just, because they don't walk very fast, they'll just slowly fall down here. And then they all get funneled towards the middle and fall and die, which is what they do down here. So they all fall down here, die, and then the gold gets collected, and I try and filter out the rotten flesh here, sort of. So yeah, that clicking was just filtering out the rotten flesh. But there's some gold that I think Jareth has been gathering up since he's been using my farm. But other than that, it's just the gold nuggets that appear here. All rotten flesh is removed. But yeah, the only reason this was all the way out here was because I wanted to have my main base as like a nice looking area, whilst I wanted over here to be all my sort of main technical things. The only difference is my witch hut's over there, but I spend more time at my main base than I would over here per se. I mean, AFKing a gold farm with a witch hut and all that other stuff would be okay, but the pigmen from this farm take up the mob cap mostly-ish, and they don't actually run by your typical mob cap rules anyway. They can keep adding to it, but they won't like add themselves or take away from themselves to it. And it's just all my chests from this area. But yeah, that's all I can really explain about here. I'm doing a terrible job at all this, but I'm just trying to show you things. And this is the path that goes all the way to spawn. I'm not going to walk down it. It's a lot of effort and way too much for now. So what I would do is, oh yeah, and in case you're wondering, this port was just so that when the gold farm's on, all the gold farm stuff stays over there. I'll tell you what, I've decided against what I just said about a few seconds ago, since I'm heading to spawn anyway. So I'll just walk down it on this horse or donkey, so you can get an idea of can this one not even jump over that? Okay, so you can get an idea of how long this path is. So I will see you, I guess, in quite a bit, since I'll speed this up really quickly though. So see you there. Okay, and finally, after that really long journey for me, or really quick for you, we have gotten here after picking up a lot of random shit on the way, it seems like. There we go. I'll just leave. There's nothing in this donkey that I care about anyway. Um, yeah, we've gone to spawn and everything that is going on here. First we'll start with the spawn wall, since I think it's just a good place to start. Huge amount of work went into this. Back in the day we used block transmuters to get all the circle stone brick, which you can now craft in 1.8, but whatever. So we built this huge wall around the spawn, and it's really large. It goes all the way down there and around, and it just encompasses the whole sort of spawn area-ish. You know, a lot larger than the spawn chunks, but you know, it's cool. We have our UHC building that we used to change between UHC mode and not, and we voted on that and such, which we did for a short period of time, then we gave up. Of course, we have the mighty spawn building that has been here for a very long time now. At the very well, not the very first thing built on the server. There was a few things built on the server first, but it was the biggest building that we've built on the server thus far. The iron foundry, which is no longer functional since we use a different type of iron farm now, which is located under these pistons, and some pistons up there, and some pistons over there, and a few more over there, and over there. It's a really big iron farm. But yep, the old foundry, built that on the 4th day of the server. Didn't entirely look like this by then, but the thing was functional by then, and that produced a lot of the iron, which, you know, helps our server today. And all these chests here are all full of iron blocks in case of a server project, or in case the iron farms just break entirely and we're unable to ever get iron again. You know, it's a fairly chunky supply right there. Up here is my sort of diamond block pile, which of a house, which I never built thus far properly yet. I've yet to get around to it. I just marked the spot where I sort of wanted out of diamonds. So there's that. There's Vibe's house over there. There's Zero's. That was Awesome's over there, and behind his, in the distance, that was the sort of one looking thing, was Death's house. And oh yeah, the spawn building covered in beacons. Although some of them beacons are being rented at the moment, per se, or loaned. That's Duref's thing, there we go. That's Death's over there. And we have my fail music thing here that I attempted to like do an FV disco thing, whereas it was turned on. We'll see if it plays. I find it funny, it's playing the songs that are working at the moment. This was the one that failed. I started working on this and then I fucked up all the timings on it. And then I sort of just gave up with this thing for a while. But it's just a little music thing that I thought would be nice to be playing at spawn all the time. Which does sound sort of nice, the ones that I did get working. But it has a randomizer built into it. That's all this stuff up here. Each one of these are randomizers, so they give a particular chance of playing the song. If it's an iron ingot, like these, then they won't play the song. If it's an iron sword, then it will play the song, and I can force this thing to randomize. So actually that many songs came on at that one time. So it, you know, the odds for each individual song was being calculated, but I never really finished it. but it was one of the last things I had done a recording on, but I'd never actually ever shown on camera because of. Let me just go down there and show you real quick, because it's just this iron blocks and note blocks everywhere, and this one was the red one, so that's why it's got the gravel and the stone. And it's just a huge mess of wiring. So nothing really of value to show, but it does sound nice. Down here we have our villagers for trading iron with. Basically, they're all rip-off cheapskates and thieves because they just don't trade enough iron. But iron, 1, 2, 3, iron, double iron trades. These were villagers we had in 1.7. When we updated to 1.8, they had their next iron slot, fairly close, so it's not bad. The only reason they're at spawn is because they're less likely to break. That was a 1.7 thing, but that's changed now, where they don't break in 1.8. And we were just having iron delivered here anyway, so it just made sense to have the iron villages where the iron supply is. Other than that, what we have going around spawn, which isn't actually that much, a lovely spawn floor made out of lava, and roof. Oh yeah, let's go back this way real quick. Speaking of lava, my lava ravine filled with some ores that I all mined, and an abandoned mine shaft, quote unquote. If you want to go down there real quick, when the block transmuting thing came out as well, what I did is I turned these slabs into non-burnable ones. So like you can't get these with an axe. See, it's wood, but I can't get it with an axe. But with a pick, they break very quickly, if you can sort of see that. So they're the non-burnable slabs, and we built a road over the top of this ravine, which is all kind of just cool little things that I did for spawn. This kills ugly house thing. And oh yeah, I forgot to show you, there was this lake that was never a lake before. It was a lot of work to fill in, but that's all done. Not to mention, spawn used to be very hilly and flat and such, so it was just a large amount of work that was put into spawn. Down here, as you can see, the wall that goes around and such. We have the original spawn house, which was located in the middle of a road but had to be removed, so what we did is I rebuilt it here about a few weeks ago, just for the hell of it. Looks quite nice, I think, and it's kind of cool. And if you can't tell, I'm trying to just go through this video fastish. That was Minecraft Mike's stuff, I think. Bald Eagle MC or something, or whatever. He has so many names I forget a lot of the time. But what we'll do is we'll go into the portal now, because spawn, I'm sure people have seen a lot. It's been in lots of videos. The nether hub here, quote unquote, the ugliest thing ever that I never got around to getting a proper design made for it. But down here we have our trading hall. This has been a big part of the server for at least me and Dareth. More Dareth than me, I would say. But this is where we got everything put together that makes the server OP. We have our original villagers, Nukewarhead and Thor. Thor was the first blacksmith we got that was originally perfect, because he has the iron on his original last slot. That was in 1.7, so he was a perfect blacksmith back then, as was Nukewarhead. But now with 1.8, there's a few more trades. Obviously, he would have been a pretty good guy if we'd had iron on the first slot, and then in 1.8 updated, just to have, 1, 2, 3 away, iron again. but there's only so much you can do. So that's all Thor's trades. Nukewarhead is pretty good as well. With iron on his last slot, which is here. His new trades turned out to have a slightly cheaper iron trade, which is pretty rare, which is nice. And he also happens to have a pretty good diamond axe to trade with. You know, pre-enchanted. That's not bad. That's a pretty good axe. So, and lastly, this villager, after killing 2,229 villagers, that's the number Direct killed, we finally got the villager that has this pickaxe trade. Efficiency 3, Unbreaking 3, Silk Touch 1. That was a pain in the ass to get, but eventually we got him before we updated to 1.8, and that was a huge undertaking right there by mostly Dareth, but me as well, since I funded the emeralds for about quite a lot of it. Then Dareth has given some back right now, so I would say it's more Dareth than me. But yeah, this is just our nice little trading hall. This is the entrance to the outside. That's the wall. You know, it's just not far from spawn. Just some sugarcane farm that's temporary. Sugarcane farm. Just all sorts of little farms around here that was temporary until there's more official ones put in. And this is where there used to be bread down here, but now that's all broken in 1.8. So yeah, that's the trading hall, and I think I will show you one or two more things, and then we will come to the end of this video. Since, my god, this has been like the first recording, a really long video, but hopefully this one will be a bit better in comparison. So what we're doing is, this is something that we were, I guess, one of the first servers to build since, let me just turn my sound down because this withers, since Spire shared with me the design. We were able to get this, what is it? It's basically 8 withers in and a tree farm, and I've modified the design a little bit to suit some problems we've had with running it on a server in comparison to a single player world. But yeah, it's a whole bunch of wiring and a lot of complex things, and eventually it leads up to down here being where the tree farm is. And this is basically Spire's typical type of tree farm design. You can find it on Spire's channel, you know, Spire 1994 or something like that. I honestly forgot his channel name. I think it's just, oh no, it's just Redstone Spire. That's his in-game name, Spire 1994. Or I think he changed it to just Spire now. Damn Spire, changing too many different names. Damn it. That thing in the distance, that was Mr. Awesome Stuff. I'm not going to show it because that's just his. You know, I don't want to take any type of credit for that sort of thing. And I'm pretty sure Mr. Awesome is one of the other people who does upload videos, sort of still-ish. Though, I'll be honest, I don't entirely watch them all. I haven't seen anything lately because I've not been interested in watching that many Minecraft videos lately. But we'll move it off from here, and I will show you one of the other projects that I've mostly been hands off with, but this might be affected by the 1.9 stuff. So what we'll do is we will head on over to the end, which is really not that far away. And speaking of 1.9 stuff, I went to Minecon since the last time I did a video, so I now have a cape, which is really cool. Met JL and a few of the conspiracy guys. Met quite a few people. It was a pretty good time. But like I said, mostly hung around with JL. And down in here, okay, so like I said, we had an obsidian farm here once before. That has now been taken out, but all the obsidian still remains from all that farming that I did in a video a long time ago. Just open up any old, well, not that particular one, but a lot of obsidian is still around. You know, there's a whole lower level to this bit as well. I used to have a water stream, though I guess someone took it out. But yeah, it was a lot of work, as with many things on the server. But yeah, we had an obsidian farm here, and it ran for quite a while, and that's all gone now. We also had an end island here. I helped a little bit with removing this, but the vast majority of the work was done by everyone else on the server. So yeah, they did a great job, and we now have a very empty end. Also, we have end crystals that are still in place, and they're held in place with redstone blocks, because that's the block I wanted to use with them. These guys were all moved in 1.7 as well, and they were all positioned exactly how this is. But yeah, I guess that's all that I can say about this. I mean, I guess since it's run on this long, I don't want to make it too much longer. So that's basically a tour of the server with things that I've been involved with. There's a lot more I could have shown, but if you're just getting into this, then yeah, I hope you enjoyed what you did see at least, and I plan on at least making a video every so often. This was kind of more of a, I haven't done one in so long that I should probably just try and show you what I have been doing. I mean, I have done a lot of things in other places on other servers, just saying. Well, other servers, I mean more like other server. But obviously, I'm pretty sure you know what one that might be if you follow what I do and who I am. But anyway, that will conclude the end of this video of Contingency. I will thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.